From LA Late headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LA Late.
It's a big afternoon and a big holidays, LA, as Americans return back from that Thanksgiving weekend. And the big question mark is what's going on with the economy. We'll explain the latest details as the Dow tumbles 500 points today. Why? On the latest details across the board. But massive stimulus, Santa stimulus, is available for you right now. And viewers from this channel are walking away with these Santa stimulus checks in their hands this week. They got it last week. They already received it, and if you have not, welcome to LA. America's #1 most watched channel for this coverage, and I'm going to show you how to get this incredible stimulus in this recording. Stay over this 1 hour broadcast, because viewers of this channel are walking away with about $50,000+, and it's huge. $300,000 of checks available for you, 300 different checks. It's Santa stimulus. Viewers are getting it right now with a 2-day routing time. You need it, and I'm going to show you how to get it in today's recording. Plus, later in this recording, we're going to compare two parts of this economy and signal whether analysts have gotten it right or whether they've gotten it wrong. Those parts of the economy are technology, Apple, and consumer staples that are based upon the housing market, Williams-Sonoma. We'll be looking at what has happened to them in the last 24 hours, and fascinating. You'll be surprised by the results. I was as well. Meantime, we're counting down the hours and the days until the latest inflationary report release from the Department of Labor. It's the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index. We'll give you the guidance on what it's going to look like. Plus, we'll be looking at the labor number that was released before we went into the 3-day weekend. The latest numbers on tech bubbles, economy, earnings recession, housing, and of course the Federal Reserve with that is FOMC minutes, teeing up the next meeting just days away as well. Plus, in the big second half, we go back to the tree park, the Christmas tree park, the second half of our debut of the LA Christmas tree. It's holidays, LA in the big second half, and lots of stimulus. Stay over this 1 hour broadcast. We have massive amounts of money for you to get. It's huge. It's right now. It's Santa stimulus. It's coming in less than 2 days. And I'll have all that breaking news starting right here, right now on Afternoons LALATE. Good afternoon, everybody. Millions of Americans who are watching this channel this week have walked away with tens of thousands of dollars, and it's huge. It's the Santa stimulus. Viewers have gotten it. The members. Have you gotten these Santa stimulus checks? I'm going to show you how to get them in today's recording. Membership on this channel has already gotten it, and if you've already gotten some, I'm going to show you how to get more of these checks. On top of that, plus we'll be looking at the latest crumbling of the housing market, auto market falling apart as well, plus the latest countdown to those inflationary numbers being released within just days, big data, and we'll look at what's going to go on with that, plus the raise of your benefits, all credible, exciting news. Then turning over to the latest details on the auto market, and of course the recession, inflation, big show. All that and more, plus the latest on your stimulus. It all heats up today's broadcast on Afternoons LA Holidays Edition. Happy holidays. Hope you had a beautiful Thanksgiving, and thank you for joining me back today. In today's broadcast, we're going to go over those massive Santa stimulus checks that the viewership of this channel are walking away with this last week and this week as well. They've already gotten it. Have you gotten it? If you haven't, you're going to learn how to get it in today's recording. It's big checks, not $100 checks. Tens of thousands of dollars checks, and I'm going to show you how to get these big checks that the membership of this channel has already gotten, already been paid, and I'm going to show you how to get lots of this money in this recording. Plus, if you already gotten money, I'm going to show you how to get more over this big broadcast. Then we'll be turning back over to the latest countdown from the Federal Reserve with those FOMC minutes released on Wednesday. What does it tell us about what's going to happen in the next 7 days? It's fascinating. But let's go right into the breaking news starting right now. The breaking news right now is the Dow is tumbling down 500 points. This is the first full day of trading of the Dow Jones since the start of Thanksgiving. Now, we had a half-day trading on Friday, but this is the first day of full trading since Wednesday. So the market is tumbling 500 points right now. But I want you to understand, it's not because of any numbers that had to do with Thanksgiving commerce. It has nothing to do with whether sales and retail sales were good during Thanksgiving. It has everything to do with something else, China. China is now under major protests because of concerns about new deaths in China from Omicron. And those protests are now causing Americans over here skittish because we manufacture a lot of our products there. Among them are the Apple iPhones. The Apple iPhones are manufactured in China by that major manufacturer called Foxconn. That's another new Fox News. And the Dow was initially down 371 points, is now down 500 points. Very, very bad news across the board. Apple got another downgrade today based upon the worries of how bad these civil unrests are. These are protests. People are not showing up to work to manufacture our goods, which we ship back here. And this is big problems because remember, we're just coming off of trying to fix supply chain disruption. And now we may not actually even have the products. Apple shares are down 2% right now after concerns that the Foxconn factory, which manufactures that iPhone, may not pump out enough iPhones this holiday seasons. And there's big concerns that the holiday numbers, which companies are very dependent upon, may fall apart if they cannot get the products for us out of China, which we make there and ship back to the United States. Fascinating across the board. Today, Apple's down 2%, but remember, if you've been watching this channel for the last few days, we've had that company tumble day after day based upon these concerns of what's happening over in China. Let's look at the rest of the market right now. The NASDAQ is down nearly 1%, but let's jump over to cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is down another 3%. Ethereum is down sizably as well. BIT is now at 16,000 and Ethereum at 1,000. Wow, just a confusing economy. Later in this recording, I'm going to be comparing Williams-Sonoma versus Apple, and we're going to look at whether Williams-Sonoma is really taking a major hit because the housing market crash that's fully underway, or whether it's Apple that's taken the major hit because people keep on telling you technology has been really down this year. You're going to be surprised. It's not the answer you expected, and this is really fascinating. It's coming up in the big second half, along with that visit to the Christmas tree park. Now let's jump in those incredible stimulus checks. 3 categories of checks are live right now, and my viewership have gotten paid this week. They've gotten paid last week, and they'll get paid next week. What are these 3 categories of checks? The first one are federal stimulus checks. They've been lost since March, and my viewership have already gotten them. Have you gotten them? I'm going to show you how to get them in this recording. They're in $1,000 of checks, 300 different checks, and they are huge. Then we're going to go to inflation relief stimulus checks, and next, lifetime stimulus checks. These Santa stimulus checks you need to get right now because this is how it rocks and rolls. What are you watching? You're watching LA, which is #1 overall for financial news on this subject matter. No one else covers it. And when I show you over this 1-hour broadcast, is I teach you how to get these incredible checks. It's important to understand. You need to watch the show. You need to watch the show from beginning to end. You can't just read a title and then look at the bank account. Not going to get you a single penny. Not going to work. But if you listen and learn, you're going to be the next Frank Mancuso. Frank Mancuso joined this channel, and in less than 20 days, less than 30 days of becoming a member, what did he walk away from watching this channel with? Tens of thousands of dollars. Let's look at his success story right now. Frank Mancuso joined this channel. He listened and learned, and he got check B. 18 months of mortgage, 18 months of utilities, 18 months of high-speed internet. But his success story right there is not just tens of thousands of dollars for him. His success story continues left and right. Kimberly Romano also had the same success story. She reports the following last week. Kimberly Romano reports that I joined as Purple Hawks and I got check B and I got 18 months of check B. for all my utilities and my HOA fees. Wow, that could potentially be about $2,000 a month. That is then $36,000 for just paying a few dollars to become a member. $36,000. On top of that, she got $4,000 of past due property taxes. Then she got the weatherizer grant, $12,000, bringing her to $52,000. And she says, "Thank you, Elliot. I love you for all you do for your program." Margaret reports she has now gotten upwards of $3,000 in recent days. She just got another 6 more months of LG&E, which is a utility, another $600 for utilities. What you hear with these viewers, with these tens of thousands of dollars of Santa stimulus checks they're getting this week, is that they actually did something. They did something. Step one, they listened through the entire recording and listened and learned. Number two, they understood they need to pounce to get a check. This is how stimulus works right now. And if you don't do it this way, you get nothing. If you do it this way, you get more than I've ever had for viewers on this channel. Let's lose the incredible success story from the other viewer out of Florida. She had applied for Check B, and what did she get? 18 months of checks, 5 checks a month, nearly about $3,000 or $4,000 a month. That is huge, because what does she walk away with? 80 to 100 checks, $80,000 to $100,000. Something sound familiar? That 18 sounds really familiar. It's happening all the time. Let's go over the averaging of what's gone on for payouts of stimulus checks, Santa stimulus checks, to my viewers in this month of November going into December. They have averaged 18 months of monthly stimulus checks. They have averaged all their utilities plus their rent or their mortgage, about 5 checks a month, 80 plus checks. They have averaged over $50,000. Imagine the incredible success stories that the viewership of this channel has become by listening and learning. And all you have to do is do the same thing. Go right in this video right now and become a member. Step one. Go right in this video, join the channel, then subscribe. Then make sure you hit that bell so you have all notifications set to all on. Like the video, share the video, and stay with me over this 1 hour broadcast, because I'm going to show you where all this Santa stimulus is happening. And once you watch the entire video, you're on path to getting paid. It's that straightforward. If you make the effort, you will get paid. This is the listen to learn experience across the board. Coming up in a second, we're going to go over each of these wonderful checks one at a time. So don't worry about wondering how this works. I'll show you each check one at a time. These are federal stimulus checks, the first categories of checks. The other checks are inflation relief stimulus checks and lifetime stimulus checks. They're coming up also later in this recording. So we had a major series of data that came in today for corporate earnings. And what do we have? Well, we had the casino operators trading higher because of their approval from regulators overseas. Let's go back to some consumer staples. We had Smucker's Jelly last week. Remember them? They beat dramatically, and Smucker's owns more than just its jelly, owns a lot of other brands. So a comparable company that came in today was Tyson Foods. Tyson Foods fell today very badly, and so did Beyond Meat. Tyson Foods fell 3.3% just today alone, and Beyond Meats fell 3.1% today alone, as Barclays downgraded both companies to underweight and saying that the problems are still not yet solved. I'll drink to that, perhaps with a beer, because Anheuser-Busch is up 3% when getting a double upgrade from Amazon. Is that really what it says? A double upgrade. I'll have a... Was that a joke? J.P. Morgan gave I'll have a double upgrade on Anheuser-Busch. I think I'm the only one that saw the humor in that. Maybe Wall Street, maybe there's someone on Wall Street saw the humor in that. But J.P. Morgan says, I will have a double upgrade on Anheuser-Busch. Of course, Anheuser-Busch is the parent company of all those spirits, those beverages. And so we'll have a double upgrade. The stock is up 3%. It is foaming with... It is overrunning with foam with the great news across the board. And then Williams-Sonoma, okay, here, this is coming up late in the broadcast, down 5% again today, 4% down again today. This sounds like a broken record after Morgan Stanley downgraded the company, saying that demand may be even worse than initially thought because of the housing market. Wow, a lot of issues and a lot of things to deal with. And this is why you want to get these incredible checks. 3 categories of checks: federal stimulus checks, inflation relief stimulus checks, and lifetime stimulus checks. Let's go right into those federal stimulus checks right now, and let's learn to earn what these checks are so that you can get them today. I bet you won tens of thousands of dollars of checks today. Let's go over them right now. Where do these checks come from and how did they become a law? These federal stimulus checks started in the month of March, when Joseph Biden, your president of the United States, passed a series of executive actions establishing checks A, B, and C, bringing you to hundreds of thousands of checks. And we'll go over those incredible details in just a second. Those first 3 checks were $100,000. Passed by executive action of Joseph Biden in the month of March. They're absolutely incredible. And you qualify. A single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it as well. How do you get it? You become a member. Then get that membership newsletter and apply. It's that straightforward. Then came Congress and they passed other checks, bringing us to hundreds of checks. Those checks are E through K. I'm going to go through all those in a second. Where do you apply for these checks? Once you become a member, you open the membership newsletter, the LA newsletter, delivered from me to you Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time via the YouTube alerts. You go right down in those alerts, click the link and go right into the membership newsletter and pounce and apply for those incredible checks. And that's why the Purple Power is cleaning up. Members of this channel are absolutely cleaning up. And let me explain to you why. It's always important to explain why and go back to it every few days. Back in the month of February, I was the only American broadcaster to report that the U.S. economy was going to go into recession. This was February. And by February 2022, viewers of this channel already knew my track record in predicting economic perils. Last year, I had already reported that the U.S. economy would suffer consistent inflation of 8% that would not go away. And in December, it was 8%. And by February, it was still there. So they already knew I was good at what I do with these predictions. So when I said that recession was going to hit, and I reported that in February, indicating that the recession would have its real hurt coming this next year in 2023, viewers had a very distinct response. And what was it? Give me a darn stimulus check. Give me a darn stimulus check. Because if you're a right ally, and we're going to go into recession starting in 2023, and it's going to be 2 years long, that's far longer than a 3-month lockdown from 2020. That's very serious. Get me a stimulus check. And I then looked for those checks because you asked me to find them in March of 2020. And what did I find? Checks A, B, and C. All the credit is due to you. Why? Because you heard, ears and eyes, saw and heard that I was warning a downturn in this economy. And you said, if there is a downturn in this economy, give me some darn stimulus. Give me a lot of it. And that's what I look for. 3 focuses I had at the time: big checks, ease of getting checks, and that you qualify. And we got it achieved. Checks A, B, and C are tens of thousands of dollars because you need big amounts of checks to survive a 2-year economy. Number 2, ease of being able to do this. What did I do? I put them together into an LA newsletter delivered from me to you. All you'd have to do is go in and apply. Click, 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 click. Just costs a few dollars to become a member. It's just almost nominal money to go in and become a member. And then you can get tens of thousands of dollars. And number 3, make it informational and educational and quick of ease to get those sums of money. And that's why over every broadcast, I go over every single check one at a time. And since then, the viewership of this channel, since March of 2022, has gotten millions and millions of dollars from these federal stimulus checks since the month of March. What do? You go on this video, join the channel, become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Then stay with me as I go over all these incredible checks of these FSC checks, then over to inflation relief stimulus checks, and then lifetime stimulus checks. It's that straightforward. With that, let's not wait. Let's go right into the first 3 checks, checks A, B, and C, right now. What is check A? Check A is the weatherizing grant, and that is a check that Kimberly Romano got. And that's also the check that Spelly got. It's a lot of money, because that's how we do it on this channel. We're not here for puny little checks. You have big bills, and you need those big bills paid over the next 2 years. What do we get for check A? $6,500 to $12,000 is check A. How do you get this? Step one, go under this video, click the link and join the channel. Step two, get that membership newsletter delivered from me to you, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time tonight via YouTube alerts, and go right in and apply at check A. We're not done there yet. Then you're going to do check B as well. You've already heard the success stories of check B on this recording. Kimberly Romano, 18 months. Frank Mancuso, 18 months. The other viewer out of Florida, 18 months. Viewers averaging 5 checks a month. Viewers averaging $50,000+ on check B alone. Why would you not become a member? Go right in this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Calcino VIP. Then go down to check B and click the link and go get those incredible checks right away. You're not done there yet either. You're going to go get some check C, which is rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. When you become a member in the newsletter, I tell you where to call, what to ask, and how to ask it. And when you do that for those incredible check C's, you will have a success story like these success stories on this channel over the last 2 years. Here's what we've gotten viewers this channel for rent in recent weeks. $30,000 of rent from check C, become a member. What about utilities? We've even gone higher, as Mark's brother-in-law has gotten $15,000 from utilities. Snap, the same brother-in-law, $250,000 over 10 years. Combinations of checks. Well, Mark is at $32,000. He went to $50,000, then $100,000, then $166,000. He just paid a few dollars to this channel, and he walked away with $166,000, not $166, $166,000. And Lorraine, she was at 105. She went to 155. Congratulations to Dragon, who's sitting on $170,000. $170,000. Johnny, who helped 20 friends and neighbors get $250,000. And Lynn Glenn. I love Lynn Glenn's brand new update for us across the board. In fact, I have 3 updates for you. So Spelling, who had already gotten check A and check C, went back and got another several months of check C, about a few $1,000s just in the last, I think, 3 days. I think it was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Here's Lynn Glenn. This message came in over Thanksgiving weekend. She says, I listen to you every day. And by listening to you, I've been able to get help. And it's very important for people like me that are on disability, she says. I'm getting extra money every month, and this really helps me out. So instead of spending my money on rent, I can save it. So the money I would normally pay on rent, I just put that away, and I save it every month. And I don't have to pay my rent. It helps me so much. And I keep on saving it, and I'm not blowing away my money. So this is very important. Let's just use a number, for example. Let's say her rent is $500 a month. So she is getting that paid for every month. So she is saving $500, by this example, per month. After 4 months, she has an extra $2,000 in her bank account that she would not normally do. How many months of checks is Lincoln getting? She is getting 14 months of utilities and 12 months of rent. Imagine the tens of thousands of dollars she is saving over those year-plus months on this channel. It's absolutely incredible. And you should have that same success story tonight as today as well, whether you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or rural benefits. And what do you do right now? You go under this video, hit the subscribe button, go under this video, hit the bell so you have all notifications set to all on, and go under the video and join the channel. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Then, Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock my time, Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Central, exactly on the money, the YouTube alert is sent out for the brand new newsletter. You go down that YouTube alert, click the link, and go right and apply at that incredible newsletter. Now, those are just the first 3 checks. We got more checks on top of that. And let's look at those incredible additional checks in just a second. Those additional checks bring us to $300,000 of checks of those FSCs. What are you watching? You're watching LLite, which is number 1 overall for this subject matter for financial news in America, but number 3 for all financial news across the globe. This channel now has 3 channels, LA1, LA2, and LA3. On LA1, you may be watching taped live short and long form programming. On LA2, you can watch Stimulus live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, plus humor programming. On LA3, you can watch cooking shows coming to LA3 and also Wall Street Live every morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now let's go back into what Wall Street is trying to digest in the current status of a very volatile start of a brand new week after Thanksgiving. You and I all thought that the major story today was going to be Jay Powell, Federal Reserve, with those FOMC minutes last week. We also thought the retail sales for holiday shopping was going to be the big story. We got it wrong. The big story is really China, because we manufacture a lot of products there and ship them back. And if China is now having protests from workers not showing up in the factory to produce products that are our products that are shipping back to us to sell to us for the holiday season, imagine the problems that could happen. It's really bad news, folks. Imagine you are Apple and you do not have enough iPhones to sell this week in the stores because China is on protests because of outrage about COVID variant policies there. Well, as Apple is seeing right today, their shares could tumble because ultimately, if they don't have enough product to sell, they're not going to make money. If they don't have enough money to make, then guess what they do? They could potentially lay off workers. And the situation will continue to grow until the China policy changes. And there's no end in sight that this China policy could stop. So what I want you to understand very clearly is that this story today about China protests over China's policy with Omicron, causing workers to not show up to work in China, could be a brand new wrinkle on all the economic stories we report on this channel. This could be a brand new wrinkle because this is not something that was part of our risk assessment. Let me make it even simpler. When you and I analyze stimulus, when you and I analyze the economy, we look forward, we look in front of us at all the variables at issue. We try to assess the risk on a recession. We try to assess the risk on inflation. We try to assess the risk on stimulus stampede. But if suddenly a brand new wrinkle that we never assess the risk on, workers in China not showing up the factories to make our products, is happening during the holiday season. Folks, this is really bad news. This is horribly bad news. This is worse news than saying, a department store didn't sell enough tennis shoes the holiday season. This is a very jaw-dropping, over-encompassing story that impacts everyone very, very quickly and very, very abruptly. If there was any more warning signal right now to get a stimulus check, it would be this. Why? Imagine how horrible this is. Earlier this year we were talking about lockdown. Earlier this year we were talking about supply chain disruption and Vladimir Putin. Putin's not so much a variable anymore for us. And then supply chain disruption improved. So we were just dealing with inflation, recession, and the downward spiral of our economy. Imagine on top of that we get hit with something brand new, that our products being made overseas are not being made because those factory workers are not showing up because they're in protests. This could be horrific. It could be absolutely horrific. And guess what it could do? It could reassess and rechange our entire outlook on where we're putting this economy, where we're putting the stimulus stampede. How big will it be? And what are the possible variables? I'll go over that in the big second half. But coming up in the big second half is a continuation of these federal stimulus checks, and they're big. We're going to continue with these checks and bring you up to those nearly $300,000 of checks in the big second half. E through K are the big checks in that big second half. Then we go to L&M, N&O, P and Q. Next up, inflation relief stimulus checks as well, and then lifetime stimulus. And guess what happens after that? After that, we go visit the Christmas tree park. For part 2, yesterday on the first broadcast, we were at that Christmas tree park yesterday. Well, today we return and I give you the big second half of what to see and how to experience the beauty of Christmas. It's all coming up and up and up in a big second half. See you back in 60 seconds with big stimulus, big problems in China, and big Christmas trees back at home. See you back on the special edition of Holidays LATE. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Late Daily for the excitement of the new LA Late live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LA Late at 9 a.m. Home LA Late returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues in a big second half as we go back to the Christmas tree park, but we also go back to the stimulus ride. In this big second half, we're going to go over the big stimulus that Americans are getting this week. They got it last week, and it's absolutely incredible. It's Santa stimulus, and you deserve it. You need tens of thousands of dollars. It's the holiday season. Budget is tight. You're in a recession. I'll go over the latest details on how to get this big sums of money in this big second half. And with that, how are you? Thank you for joining me again on Afternoons LA. After the President of the United States did that executive action in the month of March of check A, B, and C, then came along Congress. They passed more checks in a beautiful bill of E through K. Let's go over those federal stimulus checks right now. Those incredible checks, E through K, are huge. And what do they look like? Well, they start with that wonderful, beautiful check E. Check E is a $7,500 stimulus check. Insane. Then check F, $4,000 stimulus check. Then we go to stimulus G. Stimulus G is a beautiful 30% off. H, a $2,000 stimulus check. Wow, I love it. Don't you love it? Stimulus I, a beautiful $8,000 stimulus check. Congratulations to the viewers who got that stimulus check as well. Stimulus J, $8,000 additionally, and stimulus K, $14,000. Insane. Then we continue over to stimulus L, zero down payments. Stimulus L, $100,000 of loan industry money, and then stimulus M, $4,000 of free grant money stimulus check for you. Stimulus N, like Nancy, one of the most beloved stimulus items. I adore it. It's a brand new computer, tablet, or laptop for this holiday season. Yes, free, with free internet. I featured on this channel for several months. I always said it was my favorite stimulus item. And then John Maloof got it. I almost said Frank Mancuso. It was John Maloof. And then he reported he was watching me on the tablet while celebrating the success of getting the tablet. I recorded that, and I said to John, go get more stimulus. He did, $24,000. Then what happened was his success story inspired Spelly, who got the tablet. And Spelly inspired Lynn Glenn, who got the tablet as well. Have you gotten the tablet? Become a member. Go right down to Stimulus N in the membership newsletter and have a brand new computer, tablet, or laptop this holiday season. Then we have Stimulus O, zero down payment, zero closing costs for a brand new first home, and no insurance required. And then Stimulus P, 30% down and 8% of closing costs. Free check across the board. Those, my friends, are your federal stimulus checks. Wow. The largest check, $100,000. The smallest check, $8,000. Fastest rounding time, 2 days. Johnny started on Monday. By Wednesday, he had $45,000 from this channel. Then he continued by Friday, got 15 applications in, half approved, half rejected, $80,000. The next week, he helped mom and dad each get $50,000 a pop. Then he helped 20 friends and neighbors $250,000. What are these stimulus checks for? The rent, the utilities, the mortgage assistance, and more. It also covers the home appliances, the home repairs, the car, the tablet, the computer, the laptop, the free internet. It's just absolutely incredible. They're from the federal government, so they are federal law. It has nothing to do with where you live. It has nothing to do with your state. Your state doesn't send it to you. It doesn't matter if you live in this state or that state, because it's all federal money. The next checks are incredible lifetime stimulus, because once your benefits go up, they never go down. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and Veterans benefits, you're not going to see one raise of your benefits. You're going to see 4 raises of your benefits. Let me explain to you why. At issue is that when the Federal Reserve met 2 months ago, Jay Powell made very clear that inflation will be with this economy for 2 more years. Oh boy. So with inflation with this economy for 2 more years, that means raise will happen 2 more times. Let's put it back to 2 years ago. 2 years ago, you're on the first floor of an office skyscraper. Then they raise your benefits up 5.9% for this year, raise number 1. This next year, you're going to get an 8.7% raise number 2. It goes on top of the 5.9% raise. No one's telling you that it's on top of, not in replacement of. And no one's telling you you're going to get 2 more raises on top of that. Floor 4, floor 5, in that skyscraper you go. Moreover, no one's telling you that when you reach that 5th floor by year 4, well, the items you're buying will be the cheapest of generation. Because Jay Powell's getting that inflation down to the lowest of a generation by 2024. Largest check, cheapest items to buy. It's absolutely incredible. It's confirmed, and it's going to be the beauty of where we're going. Finally, inflation relief stimulus checks, ISEs. Sort of like the icing on the cake, hence the I. Not the cake, but the icing. They're about $1,000. They're from your states, and all the details of them are in the membership newsletter. You just go down the membership newsletter to Check D, click the link and open a brand new page, and then you go down to Check D and learn about the state, the amount, and how to track it across the board. And there you go. Those, my friends, are your beautiful ISE, LSE, and FSE checks. Which brings me back to a fascinating twist and turn of events today. The markets. Confusing markets? Absolutely. Confusing economy? Hideously confusing. The Dow was initially down about 300 points earlier today, but now it's heading to almost 500 points down. And yet, Wall Street analysts in general have been trying to tell you that the real winners in this economy have been travel and leisure. That's correct. That some of the retail has been winning. That is correct. And that technology has been the real dog, the real loser. That's actually incorrect. So let me jump into a very important analysis for you right now. We're going to look at a company that's been impacted by the housing industry and a company that has been impacted by just consumer behavior. They are Williams-Sonoma and Apple. Apple, of course, makes the iPhones. And Apple, of course, is down dramatically today, 3%, because of that China protest. Now, Williams-Sonoma, you would think to yourself, well, Macy's beat and Walmart beat and Williams-Sonoma, it's a high-end customer. They're high-end items, $300, $400 items. They're probably doing really well. And then you may say, well, Apple, I keep on being told that technology is really having a horrible year. So I presume Apple's really down for the year. So here is the question, and let's see if we get the answer right. When you look at year to date, do you think Apple is the better performing of the two companies? Or do you think Williams-Sonoma is the better performing of the two companies? Well, here you go. Here's the surprise. Despite how much Wall Street wants to tell you that technology has had a really bad 2022 year, let's jump into the chart right now, and I'm going to tell you what that chart says right this moment. It's shocking. Apple is only down 10% this entire year to date. Apple is only down 10% year to date. And what's important to understand is that it's down 3% just today. So of that 10%, Of that 10%, 3% is just today. So it's actually not had that bad of a year. Let's go to Williams-Sonoma. Get ready for this one. Williams-Sonoma year to date is down 43%. Whoa. How much is Apple down in the last 5 days? 3%. How much is is Williams-Sonoma down the last 3 days? How about the last month? Williams-Sonoma is down 5% in the last month. In fact, Williams-Sonoma was a $140 stock and is now trading at $117 right today. What is the takeaway from this study? Is that it's a confusing economy. Williams-Sonoma is getting hurt because of housing. The concept is that people buy things from Williams-Sonoma to put into the house when they try to sell the house as a new home seller or an existing home seller trying to flip their house. And if they're not selling the house, then they're not shopping at Williams-Sonoma. And that's actually what's manifested in day after day on this channel with those downgrades for Williams-Sonoma based upon a housing market crumbling. Wow. Over to Apple, we keep on hearing about the big problems of technology, but Apple's actually not down that much. So fascinatingly confusing is the best I could say. Fascinatingly confusing. It's an economy that's too hard to predict. And if it's too hard to predict, you have to get stimulus. Now, what my commentary today is about is you. You've done such a great job over the last few months. Keep on getting more stimulus. Keep on getting more stimulus. The fact that you're watching the second half of this video, you're here to learn every single amount of money that you can get. And when I get you new checks, and when I have new checks on the channel, I debut them on Afternoons LATE as well. It's important to understand that this stimulus has been paid to my viewers since March, paid last week. My viewers are sitting on wads of cash. So if you have never watched LATE before, welcome, become a member and start getting stimulus checks. If all you do is look at the direct deposit balance of your checkbook, all you do is stand by the mailbox, you are putting yourself on a path to destruction. There will be nothing for you if you do nothing. And I can only say it strongly enough, and I'm not going to keep on repeating it, the messaging over across the board. The people who are not my viewers, not my members, that only want to read the title of a video, don't want to watch the video, only want to tell you what they hear in the local news. And, most of the local news stations are just horrible in the United States right now. And they don't want to learn anything. They don't want to put an effort in to get anything. They will have nothing. They will have nothing. The good side is that for you that are doing the effort, you will have more money and the money will last out longer. It's very hard for me to predict how long this money will be available, but it's lasted a lot longer because you put the effort in, and then other people who don't watch this channel haven't put any effort in, and that leaves more extra money for you every day on this channel. So go on in this video, become a member, and in the big evenings LA tonight at 5 o'clock, we will feature more about these details of these incredible checks one at a time. Now, yesterday we went back to the Christmas tree park for the first time this year. We visited 3 times in 3 years, and yesterday we were looking at the trees from afar, looking at the Douglas fir, the noble fir, and trying to really get a sizable understanding of what works and what doesn't work in buying a Christmas tree. Today, I turned the cameras on me in the Christmas tree park, and in part 2 of today's recording on the Christmas tree park, we actually discuss how to buy the tree. Let's look at the details of that and that incredible second visit to the Christmas tree park starting right now. Okay, so here we're giving you a longer shot of these incredible trees, so you see them by perspective, how tall they are compared to me. I'm 6 feet, so you see how tall these trees are. They're supposed to be 7 to 8. And just look at the strength of these trees here. Very, very pronounced in their position. Now, when you choose a tree that is laying down, don't presume it's a non-contender. It may be a very good contender. Ultimately, you have to step the tree up. I usually bring 3 tools to the tree park, but this year I don't think you really need them. I usually bring a scissor. I forgot it. A tape measure. I remembered it. And then comfortable shoes because you're going to be walking a lot. This year the trees are not tied up, which I think is a really great difference across the board. When you're considering trees, it's hard when the tree is tied up to really get a good sense of what's going on with the tree. But what I like is ultimately if the tree is if the tree is loose, then I can get a really good sense of how firm and how strong that tree will resist the test of time. Now, when should you be buying? This, as last year and the year before, is filmed the weekend of Thanksgiving. So the Saturday and Sunday after Thanksgiving are the best time to buy. Why? Roads are empty. People are still not back from the holidays. Number two, these are the first shipments of trees, so they're fresh. Number three, great selection because no one has really shopped for a tree yet. Number four, stuff is open early. So I'm literally here at the crack of dawn. Stuff is open very early. Now, if you're watching this video later in the holiday season, how do you modify your behavior? Well, get up early, get out early. Bring that tape measure, bring that scissor, and bring those comfortable shoes. When you're looking at those respective trees, let's look at them right now. It's it is a understanding of your preference situation. So you need to come with an understanding of what you're looking for, so you know exactly when you see it, you got it. What I do is I pre-measure where it's going in. So I'm pre-measuring the room, the height. I also get a sense of how wide I want it. This year, the LA Christmas tree is a little bit narrower, but it's so not as wide, but definitely taller. So it is a very stately tree and it's beautifully positioned. And that's ultimately some of the points that you need to consider is really what are you shopping for? And when you're shopping for a tree, you need to make sure that it fits your intention right off the bat, and you're done. You are done and into the shopping process of picking up the items. Along the way, you may want to get other items. First, the tree base is very important. I like the steel ones. I like the metal ones. I don't like the plastic. You may not see the metal ones in the stores. Order it online. Plastic does not last the test of time. They're not strong. I like the metal. Next, make sure that you bring a plier at home and some good work gloves to tighten that tree base really strong when you do it. Third, what I teach viewers a lot is you really want to get that base and that tree overly saturated. So let's look at some of these trees here right now. They have a very, very soft, cool moisture mist to them, but that's going to be gone as soon as we have any little burst of sunlight or strength of heat. Unfortunately, if it happens anywhere, if you're in the Midwest and it's cold and it's damp, the tree's going to have a longer shelf life. So what I do is as soon as I bring the tree home, I put it into a dog bowl in the front yard or a pot or anything, wash it down with a hose, and leave it in a pot of water outside for several days. Live in an apartment, put it on the patio. Live inside, don't have a patio, then do the same thing inside. Keep it saturated in some water, basin of water before you mount it for at least a day or two so that it gets that replenishing. You got a tub. You don't need to take a bath. Honey, why is there a Christmas tree in the tub? Honey, why is there a Christmas tree in the tub? Put the tree in the tub and put on some cold water and give the Christmas tree a bath for a few days. And don't let the pine needles go down the drain, because then you'll be having new problems after the holiday season. Only on LA do I tell you to put a Christmas tree in a tub. But I mean, these trees are quite amazing. Douglas versus, oh, there's a beautiful little bird. Can you see him? I think you see him. Do you see him? There he is. Our co-star today. Oh, he flew away. Very camera shy. Choosing between Douglas and Noble. I like Douglas. I'm in front of Douglas right now. Douglas is more full. Noble is that sort of commercial building bank look. You walk in, it's sort of a very tall, skinny, anorexic looking tree. I know I'm gonna get all the hate mail from all the Noble fir fans tonight, but some of the Noble firs just look like a tree that's on a big diet, and I like a little bit more of a rotund tree. I like a tree that looks well fed, and that's why I go with Douglas. But Noble is the more popular fir tree, at least here in Southern California. When I'm checking out, it's always people buying Noble firs. When you're considering reefs, a lot of options, fresh or fake. You know what? I'm gonna go with fake on this one. The reefs out there right now are pretty amazing on your online platforms like Amazon and Walmart, and they are fake, and they are decorated to the T. And you wrap them up, put them in a closet, and you bring them out every year. In fact, I like lots of different reefs out throughout the year: an Easter reef, a Thanksgiving reef, a Valentine's reef. There's a lot of different types of reefs to do. So spending $24 to $30 on a real reef that you're going to throw away in 3 weeks, I'd rather spend $60, sometimes even $30, for a fake reef. And that fake reef really delivers that sentiment in the same regard. So, takeaway: haven't bought your Christmas tree? Number one, plan ahead of time. So look in the room where the tree is going to go. Measure the room with the tape measure, height and width. Second, prepare accordingly. Get up early. Go out early. You're doing this early at the sunrise of the day. Number three, when you arrive, know exactly the type of tree you're looking for, Noble or Douglas, and the height. Go right to that height. Number five, make sure you choose the tree based upon those three prongs: smell, touch, and also based upon strength, the strength of the leaves. The touch means it's fresh. The strength of the leaves means you pull on the branches and everything's holding up really well. Happy holidays! Hope you have a beautiful Christmas, and of course this is a work in progress. You'll see the LA Christmas tree once it's assembled for 2022 shortly. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.